All right, guys, so finally, sitting next to me today for a full review is a 2022 Ford Maverick Hybrid, and this one is the XL. This is the one you can get for $19,995. The hybrid engine with absolutely no options, and of course, finished in one of the Maverick's signature colors that you've seen in the advertisements, Area 51 Blue. And I'm basically going to be bringing you the same kind of review I brought you about the Lariat with the EcoBoost, except this is the one everyone wants, the hybrid engine, the one that Ford can't fill orders for quickly enough to satisfy its demand. So starting on the exterior, like I said, this is finished in Area 51 Blue, which I think is an excellent looking color. I remember it starting on the Ford Broncos, and it was an excellent color on the Ford Broncos as well. Absolutely loved it. Now, up front, I think the headlights are a little large on the Maverick. I think that about all of them, but it still ties the front end together pretty well, and I think it looks pretty decent for what it is, even though, you know, it's $20,000. How much can you complain about a truck that's $20,000? Now on the side, since it is the XL, you do get these steel rims right here. They're not the best looking in the world, but honestly, I don't think they make the car look terrible. It could be much, much worse. They could have given you some ugly hubcaps to put on there, but I think it looks okay. And of course, since you do have the XL, you get the molded in color door handles and mirror caps. Now, this one does not have blind spot assist. This actually doesn't even have cruise control because, like I said, the XL has no options on it. You would have to option cruise control on top of the XL. Now, in the back, the bed of this truck is pretty important, and Ford has flexed the vehicle bed for a while, and they call it, ironically, the flex bed. This is a 4.5-foot long bed with 53 inches in width, and it can carry 33.3 cubic feet of cargo, which is pretty impressive for a truck this small and this cheap. Ford also offers plenty of accessories for the bed as well, making it customizable in a bunch of ways if you're interested in doing that. Ford calls this their flex bed, and if you've seen any of the Maverick commercials out there, you know Ford is really pushing the fact that you can basically do anything with the Maverick's bed. And it also has a 30-inch ground to floor right here for lifting cargo into the bed, which is pretty good. It's gonna make it so it's not super hard to get anything into the bed. And if you want to lift things over the side of it or put things in, it's not gonna be that tough either, just because the truck is so short. So yeah, the bed is a good place to be in the Maverick. The first Maverick I ever reviewed on the channel, which was, I don't know, 3 months ago, was a hybrid, but I never got to go in detail about that truck. Now, in the Lariat video about the Maverick, I did say the back of the bed looks kind of weird how it transitions. I guess it's because it's a lot shorter than something like an F-150, so it just doesn't look right to me. The cab just looks really short compared to the rest of the truck. But honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. I really like the Maverick, and I like the taillights especially. They're a pretty interesting design. Now, moving on to the engine, like I said, this is a hybrid for the 10th time. So, this is a 2.5 liter inline-4 hybrid engine. Makes 191 combined horsepower, and from the engine alone, 155 pound-feet of torque. Now, as for gas mileage, you get 42 miles per gallon city, 33 highway, and 37 combined. An EPA estimated total range of 500 miles, which is absolutely insane. Tons of range that you can get out of this thing, and it's not even an electric vehicle, and it is super, super practical. This is mated to an ECVT transmission, and of course this one is front wheel drive, and can tow roughly 2,000 pounds. Now, on top of that, the payload of this vehicle is going to be around 1,500 pounds as well, and that is the same if you get the EcoBoost. Now, you can get 4,000 pounds worth of towing capacity out of this if you get the EcoBoost all-wheel drive 4K towing package. You can get about 4,000 pounds of towing capacity out of this, but the way this one sits right now, 2,000 pounds. All right, now moving on to the interior of the Maverick XL Hybrid. Now, again, this is base, so you do not get a lot, but as standard, you do get an 8-inch screen here running Sync, which is Ford's operating system that they've been using for quite a while, and it is a pretty good operating system. I like it. Connectivity ports, you get a USB Type A, USB Type C, a 12-volt socket down here. Now you have the option down here, you have drive modes right here. You get traction control off and auto hold if you are interested in something like that. If you come up to a light and you don't want to hold the brake down, you can turn on that and the car will hold itself in place. Now, like I said, on the steering wheel, you're missing some buttons. Like I said, no cruise control. So if you're looking to just get a base Maverick and you're bang for your buck kind of person, this is all you're getting. You're not getting any of the, normal creature comforts you would get out of a car. But let's go ahead and start it up. And of course, it's going to be pretty silent. And you get a little green ready sign on the gauge cluster right here saying that the car is ready to drive, because again, it is silent. Now, as for practicality in here, you get a pretty deep center console right here. Now, you don't get any connectivity ports in there, but this is a pretty decent size for stuffing anything you want in there. I like the design of the dash and how it has this little, indent in here and the exposed bolts right here that have little writing on them. I believe that says Ford. Yeah, Ford. And I just think that's pretty cool and pretty unique for the Maverick. As for your glove box, decent space as well. This is about your owner's manual. That's all you get. That's probably the smallest owner's manual I've ever seen in a car before, but decent space as well. Air vents, single zone climate control as well. Pretty simple stuff. Gauge cluster screen is pretty small, but for $20,000, what do you expect? You also get, instead of a tachometer, this little power gauge right here showing you how much electricity you're using, regeneration and everything like that. Regenerative braking, things like that this vehicle has. It'll all show it in the gauge cluster, show you when you're recharging your vehicle when you're driving. Something I've always thought is weird as well is this little space here. If you want to put your phone up here, I guess you could, but it'd just probably fall out. Now, if you go up and get the Lariat with the Lariat luxury package, you can get a wireless charger in this vehicle that you can just throw your phone down there and it will wirelessly charge. And even in the XL, you have a little phone stand right here that you can use as well, which is really nice. Now, the overall design of the interior of the Maverick, I think, is pretty interesting. You have some cheaper plastics in here, but that's because the vehicle is so low priced. It's kind of like whatever. Cheaper plastics, but it is an interesting design, like the door handle right here, or the little handle you have right here that doesn't go all the way through, it just cuts off right there, which is interesting. If you open the door, you can just, I guess, just pull it shut like that, no biggie. But for the upfront seats, everyone pretty much knows what this looks like. It's a good place to be. It's not super high quality, but you can't really hate on it for the price. All right, and just in case you didn't know, Ford put a Built Tough badge right there, which is how Ford markets their trucks. Ford Built Tough, if you haven't seen the commercials on TV. It's a interesting little Easter egg if you haven't noticed it already. All right, now as for the back seats of this vehicle, don't mind the floor mat right here. You do get a good amount of legroom right here, probably like 3 or 4 inches, and a surprisingly amount of headroom. That is really surprising. I like that. Now, as for connectivity back here in the XL, you do get a single 12-volt socket, but you can go buy a little adapter for 12-volt to USB for like, I don't know, $5 at like a gas station or something like that if you're looking for it. One backseat pocket right here if you care about that. Storage in the doors is pretty well, or storage in the doors is pretty good as well. You have a little cup holder in here, some other little spaces to hide your personal possessions. The seats back here, not the most comfortable in the world, and the bottom part is especially a little hard, but overall, not a bad place to be. I wouldn't want to take this on super long road trips as a passenger. I'd probably get a little uncomfortable. It's definitely less comfortable than the front seats, but at least you have legroom and headroom for such a small vehicle, and you have your grab handles right here, and the windows back here are pretty good size, so you're not necessarily going to feel super claustrophobic back here. And that is the 2022 Ford Maverick XL Hybrid, and I honestly think for everything you're getting out of this vehicle, it fits the price and you're getting a really, really good value out of this vehicle. Sure, the engine is not the most powerful in the world, but it's not like that matters when you go to buy this truck. You get great practicality, a great amount of fuel efficiency. What is there not to love about this car and its price? So if you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and go watch our other Maverick videos. There's plenty of them if you would like to learn more about this vehicle. So anyways, guys, I will see you all in the next video.